Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, guys. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
Very
Happy
good
Republic
evening.
Day, sir.
Happy Independence Day. So, which
Happy
Independence
Republic
Day?
Day, sir.
Happy
Happy
Republic
Republic
Day. Okay.
Sir, 73rd.
73rd. Very good. So sometimes we have to update our general knowledge also, and we hardly differentiate between Independence Day and Republic Day. Republic Day is when our constitution has been adopted and accepted, right? And Independence Day when the things has been announced, like now onwards you are independent. Okay, so have you done tongue twister? इससे पहले tongue twister किया है क्या?
No, sir.
करना चाहते हैं?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So today we are going to do tongue twister. So basic objective of the tongue twister is to the way you are speaking, it should be more clearly pronounced. So today we will talk about some of the learning, co-host Sony, you are a co-host. तो आपके पास राइट्स हैं कि आप किसी को भी एंट्री दे सकती हैं. तो आपने अधिकारों का दुरुपयोग क्यों कर रही हैं? You should give the rights immediately. People are coming and they are waiting. Even for a second, they should not wait.
Yes, sir.
You should be that much alert because now you are a responsible, and deliberately I have given this responsibility to you.
Okay, sir.
So that you can act fast, right? So basically today we are going to work upon those international techniques also. Ki whenever, suppose you want to go for a presentation. So what kind of technique you should use that your pronunciation should be so clear, one. And second, that you should be able to speak very clearly. Even the sentences are tough. So today you will see some of the words which you have to read 3 times with the, you have to ensure that both the sides of lips are not touching each other. जैसे हम लोग बचपन में बात करते थे ना, like this. You have to press it like this and ensure that both the sides of the walls are mouth, and then you have to speak 3 times. And then after that, once you will speak, then you will find that the clarity of sound will surprise you. You will feel surprised. And this is the international technique which many of the international BPO companies are using to make those call center people, their pronunciations are very, very clear. This is one of the technique. Second thing is that you should know what is your limit of the speed. At what level you can speak, that much fast you have to speak. So even your tongue is twisting or sleeping, then also you should go up to that level of speed. So you both have to try these 2 things. So I will show one of the slide which you have to read 3 times with the folded mouth, or where both the sides of lips are touching, and you have to read. Yeah, sound may not be looking good, or may not be fine. You may not finding interesting in the first 3 times of attempt, but after opening it again and once you'll read, you yourself will be surprised. So first you have to just read normally, then use this technique for 3 times, and then after that open it and read it again, and then you will find the first time and the 4th time difference, right? And after that you have to read the entire passage for 10 times with a slow to super fast speed. Clear?
Yes,
ठीक
sir.
है? It's a good exercise, right? So please feel free and read it like, yeah. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark in a pestilential prison with a lifelong hawk, awaiting the sensation of a short sock in a cheap and cheapy chop in the regular clock. शुरुआत ऐसे करो, फिर to sit in solemn silence, read like that. After that, again read like in a slow motion or whatever. Then you have to enhance your speed 10 times. like to sit in a solemn silence and adult doctor in a patient with a lifelong awaiting session of a lot short from a chippy with a big block. To sit in solemn silence and adult doctor in a patient with a lifelong awaiting session of short form from a chippy with a big block. इससे भी अगर कोई ज्यादा स्पीड कर सकता है तो अच्छा है, ठीक है. अगर टाइम मिलेगा तो आई विल कम्पीट विद यू. To sit in solemn silence and adult doctor in a patient with a lifelong awaiting session of short in a chippy with a big block. ठीक है. So let's start with Rinku. Yeah, Rinku. First you read it, first one, and then you have to just
Sure.
squeeze your lip like this,
Sure.
and then read it 3 times.
Sir, if there is some like I am not able to complete, then please what we say.
No,
redact me.
nothing. No correction is required. अगर गलती भी हो रही
No,
तो
sir,
आगे बढ़ जाना है. हाँ.
No, sir. Actually, there is a throat infection, which that's why I'm not able to speak.
अच्छा ठीक है तो don't participate. Just listen, right? Yeah, Pratishtha.
Okay.
Let's start with Pratishtha. Yeah, Pratishtha.
To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
Now you
Now,
squeeze. हाँ. पढ़िए पूरा हाँ पढ़िए. हाँ बिल्कुल से.
to sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark glass in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the cessation of a short, shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark in the pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in a dark in the pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
Now read it.
So now,
No.
to sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
Are you finding any difference?
To sit in the
Are you finding any difference?
clarity of the sound.
Clarity
Yes,
of the
sir.
sound
Means
is there.
I feel like that. Yes, sir. So
whenever you have to go for any presentation, do this exercise.
Yes.
And then go, and then you will see that everybody will be mesmerized. What a great presenter she is. Yeah. Now you read it very fast.
Yes, sir.
Like to sit in solemn silence and adult doctor in patients with a lifelong awaiting session for so in a chippy with a big block.
To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block. Again.
Yeah. Read 5 times faster.
To sit in the solemn silence in a dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in a dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong log.
एकदम तेजी से, इतनी तेजी से गुजरो कि खुद भी लड़खड़ा जाए. हाँ.
Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong awaiting the sensation of a sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
Chalo, this time we compete. Chalo, and start.
To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
बस. एक बार और ट्राई करना चाहती हो?
Yes, sir.
चलो ठीक है. ओके.
To sit in the solemn silence in the dark dock, we have in pestilential prison with a lifelong awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheapy chopper with a big black block.
चलो. Yeah, Sony, let's start. Yeah. First read it normally, then by squeezing your mouth, and then read again. Then you will find the clarity, and then 5 times is the speed. Yeah.
To sit in a solemn
Yeah.
silence in a dull.
हाँ
Sir, again start करेंगे.
हाँ स्टार्ट करिए, आपकी आवाज नहीं सुनाई दे रही है.
Sir, now
हाँ सुनाई दे रही है, चलिए.
to sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. Again. To sit in a नहीं हो रहा है. To sit in a solemn silence in a dark dock with in a essential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy so it's always long block. To sit in a solid silence in a dull dog in a essential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sharp, refilled and chippy shower with a big black block. To sit in a solid silence in a dull dog in a recession with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short shock. So it's not a true story if you know. Again, suggestion to sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of the short sharp shock with a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black.
कुछ क्लैरिटी आई? हाँ
Yes, sir. Yes,
क्या
sir.
पहले और अभी में क्या फर्क था?
सर वर्ड्स एक वर्ड्स क्लियरली अभी निकला और उस टाइम कुछ वर्ड जैसे आधे हो रहा था और छूट जा रहा था.
चलिए अब इसको 3 बार बहुत तेजी से पढ़िए. तो
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of the short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chipper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. Again. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of the short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah, Harshita, please read it.
Yes, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah. Now 3 times the squeeze mouth.
To sit in the solemn silence in the dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in the dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in the solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah, now read it.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock with a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Was there any difference, Harshita?
Yes, sir. The clarity, the words are so clear.
Magical clarity, na?
Yes, sir.
Hey, chalo, fatapat padho 3 times.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sharp shock from a cheap and cheap chopper GP chopper with a big black block. To sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and GP chopper with a big black block. To sit in a
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Mushkan Agrawal too.
Good evening, sir.
Chalo padho.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. आवाज आ रही है ना? आवाज आ रही है ना? To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential
चीटिंग मत करो,
prison.
चीटिंग मत करो भाई, ठीक है? नहीं तो
अरे
वो
इसमें
क्लैरिटी नहीं
आवाज ही
आएगी।
नहीं आ रही है।
नहीं आ रही कोई बात नहीं, बट रीड करो, तेजी से रीड करो, बाय डूइंग इट, स्क्वीज इट, टच करा दो बिल्कुल 2 बार। हाँ,
To sit in a silent silence in a dull, dark dock with a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap with a damn dark block. सर आवाज ही नहीं आ रही है, फिर से सर ऐसे ही।
हाँ प्लीज, सबने किया है। If you want to learn, you do it. Don't make excuses.
Okay, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a damn dark block, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap with a dark block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a damn dark block, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap with a big dark block.
चलो अब पढ़ो।
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
कुछ फर्क लगा?
हाँ सर, थोड़ी थोड़ी क्लैरिटी आई सर, more clarity.
Excuses मत करा करो लाइफ में। I don't like excuses.
Okay sir.
Make it possible. It's your job, it's your responsibility. Don't come up with the excuses कि ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है। If नहीं हो रहा है तो find the way and means to make it possible. नहीं तो लाइफ में आप पीछे छूट जाएंगी। चलिए पढ़िए।
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Okay, yeah, Shruti Mishra.
Yes, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a short, sharp dark dock in a precious being left from awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a short, sharp and dull, dark dock in a precious being left from awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a short, sharp in a dull, dark dock for instance, be left from awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence, silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison in a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Komal Chaurasia.
Yes, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah.
To sit in a solemn silence. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheaper and cheapy chopper with a black block. The customer solemn silence in the dull dark dark in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation from a cheap cheapy with a black. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock is in a pestilential prison with a sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap cheapy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap cheapy chopper with a big black block.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Muskan Agrawal 1. Yeah. Read it.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
You're not doing
Waiting.
honestly.
Awaiting
Chalo.
awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Padhiye.
To sit in a solemn silence in the dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in the dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
ठीक है. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Who is that? Anamika.
Yes, sir. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation.
No, you are not doing justice, Anamika.
To sit
both you have to squeeze it like that. Both the sides should come together, should touch each other, like this wall and this wall.
To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. Awaiting to sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chip and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, we are awaiting the sensation of sharp shock from a chip and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Okay, Mahi. Yeah, Mahi.
Yes, sir. Sir, is my voice clear?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sir. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and a chippy chopper with a big black block. God, it's very difficult. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in the pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah, read it slowly.
Okay, sir.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and a chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah,
To
is
sit
there
in a
any
solemn
difference?
silence.
Is there any difference, Mai?
Yes, sir. It's feeling like I'm using my whole mouth.
Okay,
to
great. Yeah,
word things clearly.
now you read it very, very fast, like to sit in something like that. Yeah.
Okay, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark in pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short sharp shock from cheap and chippy chopper with a big block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short sharp shock from cheap and chippy chopper with a big black. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull dark in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. Sir, I read it 3 times. Sir, your voice is not audible.
Shreya Chobe.
Yes, sir. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting for a sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap, cheaper, chippy in the big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting for a sensation for a short, sharp shock from a cheapy, cheaper chop with a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of short, sharp shock from cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Now read it faster.
To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting for the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper for the big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting for the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper for the big black block. To sit in silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, also waiting for sensation from shock of chippy chopper from the big black block.
Okay. Yeah, Pooja.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short shock from a cheap and chippy. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Yeah, faster, Pooja. To sit in solemn silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, such kind of speed should be there.
Okay, sir. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock and from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Okay. Yeah, Shasha.
Thank you.
Shasha.
Yes, sir. To sit in a Solomon dull dog in a potential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting a sentence of the short and sharp shock from a chippy chopper with a big black block.
रुक जाओ पहले ध्यान से पढ़ो क्या लिखा हुआ है. टू Sit in
Solomon.
धीरे धीरे, स्पीड नहीं करना है, तुम्हारी आदत है भागते रहने की। स्लो हो जाओ, आराम से चलो, जिंदगी बहुत अभी है, टाइम है अपने पास, आराम से चलो, ठीक है। पढ़ो इसको, क्या लिखा हुआ है?
To sit in Solomon silence
सोलेमन,
in a
सोलेमन,
dull
धीरे,
Solomon.
सोलेमन क्या है?
Solomon.
फिर से बोलो, 3 बार बोलो, सोलेमन सोलेमन सोलेमन, या
Solomon, Solomon, Solomon.
हाँ, आगे पढ़ो।
हाँ, to sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dark dog in a
pestilential,
pestilential.
फिर से पढ़ो 3 बार, 3 बार पढ़ो, pestilential.
हाँ, prison.
With
Pestilential prison with a lifelong lock awaiting a sensation of a short
slow
sensation of short sharp shock from a chippy chopper with big black block.
चलो अब पढ़ो, चलो अब स्क्वीज करो माउथ को, पढ़ो पढ़ो।
सर डायरेक्ट कैसे मुंह?
हाँ वैसे मुंह वाला ऐसे करना है। चलो
ये क्या है? अरे सर हो ही नहीं रही तो बात।
अब देखो, एक्सक्यूज बनाने वाले एक से एक हैं। लाइफ में एक्सक्यूजेस नहीं चाहिए अगर आगे बढ़ना है तो। चलिए।
To sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dog in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock of it or session of short shock from a chippy chopper with big block. To sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dog with a pestilential prison with lifelong lock of it or session of a short shock from the chippy chopper with big block. To sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dark. To sit in a Solomon silence in a dull dark dog in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, a weight of sensation of short shock from a chippy chopper with a big block. To sit in a Solomon silence dull dark dog in a presidential prison with a lifelong lock, a weight of sensation of a short shock from chippy chopper with a big black block.
ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं। Yes, Vaishnavi.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
To sit in Solomon's silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
To sit in Solomon's silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in Solomon's silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in Solomon's silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
To sit in Solomon's silence in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block.
Was there any difference, Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir. The words were very clear. And yes, earlier I was just limiting my tongue within, means between my teeth only. But now my tongue is coming out of my teeth while I'm speaking, while I'm reading. Yeah, so
Very
that
good.
is the
Yeah,
difference,
yeah.
sir.
Read it
Yeah.
faster. To sit in Solomon silence in a dull dog, something like that.
To sit in Solomon silence in dull dog in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and cheap shop with a big black block. To sit in Solomon silence in a dull dog in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting sensation of a short sharp shock from a cheap and cheap shop with a big black block. To sit in
To sit in
Solomon silence
Solomon
in
silence in a dull dog in a prison with come, complete. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
to sit in,
So
some more
to sit-
faster.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
To sit in Solomon
To
silence
sit
in
in
a dull
Solomon silence in a dull dog in a
dog
prison with a Yeah, go ahead.
to sit in Solomon
So
silence in a
silent
dull
dull dog in a prison with a lifelong lock. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mansi. Yeah, Mansi.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in the presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sad soft sock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a silence in a dull, dark dock, in the presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sad soft sock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dog in a potential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of crust or shock from a cheap and cheap shopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dog in a potential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of crust or shock from a cheap and cheap shopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dog in a potential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of crust or shock from a cheap and cheap shopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sad, soft shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sad, soft shock from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sad, soft shock from a cheap, chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, lifelong the sensation of sad from a cheap chopper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock of presential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of sad, soft shock from cheap chopper with a big black block.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So is there anybody? Rinku,
Thank you,
should
sir.
also try. Yeah. You should not miss this. And try as per your convenience. Yeah. Koshish karo.
Yes, sir. To sit in a solemn yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a laugh from a cheap and chippy chopper with a big black block. To sit, sir, I can read fast. It is hurting me.
Okay. ठीक है. जो जैसा तुम्हें अच्छा लगे वैसा करो. Don't worry.
To sit in a solemn silence in a dull, dark dock in a pestilential as a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp suck from a cheap, chippy chipper with a big black block. To sit in a solemn silence with a dull, dark dock in a pestilential life with a long lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp suck from a cheap, chippy chipper with a black block. To sit in a solemn silence with a dull, dark dock in a pestilential life with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp suck from a cheap, chippy chipper with a big black block.
Okay, great. Good. Yeah. Radhika, would you like to try?
Sir, next time I will be much better.
Yeah, I know. Radhika, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there. So now I'm not feeling well from like last 5 days.
Okay, no problem. Okay, guys. So good. So now you tell me that after doing this, what exactly the learning which is coming out, and why we have done this exercise? Was it really required? Yeah, Shruti Mishra.
Yes, sir. Through this exercise, we had experienced the better pronunciation ways, and after doing that mouth of thing, I could see everybody's pronunciation got better, and even clarity. I could understand what they were speaking. That.
Yes, Pratishtha.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think there was firstly clarity of the sound, and while doing the exercise, we were speaking. It seems like we are speaking with our tongue. So when after doing that tongue twister, it's this clarity and the pronunciation got much better, and the fumbleness also. Sometimes we used to fumble while speaking, so it also help in overcoming it.
Okay, great. Yes, Shawnee.
So I can see everyone after doing the exercise, everyone's pronunciation is so clear. Before it's little like I can say it's blur type, but now it's very clear. And the word pronunciation is also clear. And the what they're saying is a big black block. It is like separately. It's sounds very separately, but before it not sound separately. In the first go, but in the last go, I can see and I can hear also that. Each and every word separately it's a sound. I can say so. That's all, sir.
Yeah, Mahi.
Yes, sir, the pronunciation get better, and I think the one who has a problem with stammering also can also help it. It can be a help to them, or and the clarity. I think we are limiting our tongues, and now after doing all this exercise, we can see how we can use our whole mouth very properly by saying words properly.
Right. Yes, Shaisha. इतनी जल्दी क्यों है तुम्हें लाइफ में हर जगह?
No, sir.
हाँ सर, चलो बोलो क्या सीखने को मिला?
सर की बेटर प्रोनाउंसिएशन कैसे और इन एवरी वर्ड क्लियरिटी कैसे हो?
चलो. Yes, Pooja.
Sir, it's like we are learning by playing. It gave us better pronunciation, and also we can read words more better than before. That's it, sir.
Good. Yes, Muskan. After doing this exercise, एक चीज लाइफ में समझ में आया कि हम कंप्लेन नहीं कर सकते. Clear है?
Yes, sir.
We cannot complain with the life, with the situation. We have to surpass. We have to create an alternative. You have to find the ways and means to do it. Whatever is there in front of you.
Yes, sir.
और क्या सीखने को मिला?
So we have learned that we can easily pronounce things by this exercise. We will more clarity with the speed. Means pronunciation will be more clear with the speed.
अब इतना घबराती क्यों है कुछ भी बोलने से? सेल्फ बिलीफ नहीं है या सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है?
थोड़ा
थोड़ा मतलब क्या होता है?
मीन्स थोड़ा ऐसे सर ऐसे थोड़ा सा हो जाता है.
घबराने की आप प्रैक्टिस करते रहते हो कि अगर जरूरत पड़े तो थोड़ा ज्यादा घबरा सको?
नहीं सर.
कितने साल से प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं आप इसकी घबराने की? नॉर्मल भी बात होगी तो आप घबरा के बोलना चाहती हैं, मतलब आपकी स्पेशलिटी है, तो कितने साल से आप इसकी प्रैक्टिस कर रही हैं? कहाँ चली गई?
सर ऐसे अचानक से कोई बोलता है तो ऐसे हो जाता है वो थोड़ा सा.
वो कुछ नहीं जाता है, आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. यू आर अलाउइंग योरसेल्फ. तो आगे ध्यान रखिएगा कि घबरा के बोलना है तो घबरा के बोल के प्रैक्टिस करो, और बिना घबराए बोलना है तो बिना घबराए बोलने की प्रैक्टिस करो. बट यू शुड बी क्लियर कि किधर रहना है. मतलब अगर आपको एक्सपर्ट बनाना है अपने आप को कि मैं घबरा के बोल सकती हूँ, मेरे बराबर कोई नहीं बोल सकता घबरा के, देन यू आर पार एक्सेलेंस. नोबडी कैन बीट यू. ऐसा है क्या? कोई कंपटीशन है क्या इस तरह का? कोई आगे 4-5 साल बाद कोई कंपटीशन में जाना है क्या ओलंपिक्स में?
नहीं सर.
तो क्यों प्रैक्टिस करती हैं आप घबरा के बोलने की?
सर अब आगे से नहीं ध्यान देंगे, थोड़ा सा नहीं घबराए, ध्यान देख करके बोलेंगे. मीन्स अपने आप पे थोड़ा सा और बिलीव करके प्रॉपरली बोलेंगे तो मीन्स मतलब सही से बोलेंगे. अब मीन्स अब घबराना नहीं है, प्रॉपरली बोलेंगे.
ठीक है. Yes, Shreya, what have got out of this session today?
So after doing the exercise, our mouth gets free and the words automatically get space, and it's give a clarity and a good pronunciation. That's all.
So your mic.
Muskan Agarwal 1.
Yes, sir. With the help of the exercise, our speed and clarity both got improved. Before doing the exercise, only there was speed, no clarity, but now there is speed plus clarity.
Okay. Yes, Rinku.
Sir, at the pace on which we deliver our speech is essential while giving our lecture in front of other, because we have given a time limit. So by doing this tongue twister, we have just said so many words in a very little time. So that's the gain. And one more also thing that instead of having your adversity, you have to do the work what you have to given. So this is the game.
Which part of psychology we have practiced today?
Sir, it is basically related to the vocabulary, means that cognition. Like it is used in language that we use syntax and morpheme. So this is the part in psychology.
And okay. Okay, good. Yeah, Komal.
Yes, sir, we have created our speed and the pronunciation and the clarity. Sir, we will give a presentation somewhere the understanding will be more clear to the anyone in the communication skills.
Okay, yeah, Harshita.
Yes, after doing exercise, I think that there is words are so clear. The pronunciation was so clear, and I think that everyone was understanding so easily. After listening everyone, I think that after doing this exercise, the words are speaking. So thank you, sir.
Right. So it is creating self confidence or self belief that yeah, you can speak clearly and in such a manner that people should understand. People should be able to understand your words, voice, tone, pitch, language, whatever. Yes, Anamika.
So there's more clarity with our speaking skills. Number 2, we have a better grip upon our speed. And number 3, we got to know the importance of the area, inside the mouth, which was not utilized earlier.
Good one. So you have a resources which you are not utilizing. Now you can utilize your power in a much better way. Good. Yes, Vaishnavi. How are you feeling?
So it was a very amazing experience because this was my sort of, you can say, I was lacking this quality because as I said that I was not able to utilize the entire space of my mouth. My tongue was just limited beyond my teeth. So that is, I think now it will improve by using the technique which you recommended, and I'll definitely work on it so that my pronunciation would be more clear. Thank you, sir.
Great. Yes, Pooja.
Sir, I have spoken already.
Ajay, sorry. So, Mansi, are you there?
Yes, sir. More clarity after exercise. After doing exercise, pronunciation was very clear.
Camera is not working, or what? Radhika, you can open your camera. Yeah.
There is network issue, sir.
Okay, no problem. You can speak up.
Yeah, there was more clarity in voice, or words are very clear after practicing. So I will practice more of this.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, Radhika, what was the overall observation?
Just a second, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I feel that the trick you taught was really different. Like, of course, in my school also, then college life also, then in training program also, no one taught us specifically that you can use this trick. So I'm glad that you taught them that this trick can be used. And secondly, I think that after everyone tried, their pronunciation literally improved, and it can be seen in each of one of them. So if we can try, then we can be like, I never thought that even if we will try that, we can speak it so smoothly. But yeah, they were speaking like quite smoothly, as I thought. More than that, they could speak. So I think that it was a nice class, sir. We learned something new.
So see, everything is possible. Never try to say that I am not able to do, it is not happening. If not happening, make it possible.
Yes, sir.
There is a no way, no alternative that you cannot do. You are a human being, you can do anything.
Yes, sir.
To stop small complaining, it is not making your personality, it is breaking your personality.
Yes, sir.
And many of the time we are practicing like anything. ये हो नहीं रहा है मेरे से सर, तो कौन करेगा ऊपर से?
Yes, sir.
It's your life. You either make it or break it. Choice is yours. Opportunity is with you. Somebody has done fantastic job. Somebody has enjoyed. Somebody has taken to the next level.
Yes, sir. It shows that if you'll practice again and again, you can improve yourself no matter what it is. Nothing is impossible.
So please try to understand these basics, right? So with this, thank you very much for the session for the day, right? All the best and thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.